Hi, we're here at the 2023 Global Online Marketplaces Conference in Miami with Miriam from Roland Berger from Germany. So thank you very much for coming all the way here to the conference. Now, what I'd love to hear from you, because you guys are large consultants, you have a lot of views about what's happening in the market. Over the last sort of 2 or 3 days, we've had a lot of conversations around next generation marketplaces. What have you taken away from the conference, and how do you see the next generation of marketplaces evolving?
Yes, good question. First of all, I'd like to say that it's been fantastic being here because there's so many high caliber people here that I got to network with and to listen to them speaking. And that really is one of the key takeaways. One is that seeing that so many companies across the world are currently looking at the same challenges, looking at the same types of solutions. As a consultant, I'd always try to be ahead of the wave, so I've taken away a lot of great insights from challenges and discussions that potential clients are also having. And it's really about, no matter where you are in the world, it's very, very similar topics that everyone is talking about, and it was very, very good to get the different insights from different areas and from different types of organizations.
Okay, so when we've talked about AI in particular, I'm going to sort of stick on that theme because a lot of the presentations have ended up down that channel. How, from your perspective, if you're talking to a company about how to think about AI, how should they start thinking about implementation of it? What's the first few steps that they should take?
Yeah, great segue. The first few steps actually really are that you have to start taking the first few steps. That's probably often what hinders companies from starting, because they don't know how, they don't know what to do. It's about taking baby steps, and I think it's also about starting to take those rather sooner than too late, because AI is going to revolutionize pretty much anything we do. It has a huge impact on marketplaces. And a lot of companies that I speak with today are a bit, scared or hesitant as to what does this mean, and they feel like they might be like the second movers and want to see what everyone else is doing first.
Yes.
But in this space, it really pays off to get in there early, start with baby steps, and learn from others, and in a sense of how do you build a good product, how do you take these first minimal viable product steps, and then just start.
Okay, and I guess with AI, there's sort of 2 or 3 ways it can be rolled out in a company. One is sort of an internal focus, and one of the things that sort of came out of a conversation we had on stage just before about, AI can really change the way a call center operates. It can change the way in which technology is developed, the engineering within inside a company. If I'm a company and you're talking to me about internal use of technology, is there some areas you would suggest focusing on first?
Probably, we've discussed this quite in depth over the last few days here as well. It's really about seeing what are the low-hanging fruits, what are those things that will facilitate people in their day-to-day jobs to help them do things quicker.
Yep.
So of course in consulting as well, some of our more junior people are now also worried about, is their job going to be redundant? But it's about how do they make better use of it, and then have time, free up their time and their brain capacity to think about more complex problems, and let AI do the low-hanging, easier things.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense. There's sort of 2 advantages to that. One is the AI's got to learn, right? So it's got to learn not only what it knows outside your organization, which it can pick up through being fed the information or scanning it for itself, but it also has to understand your organization and what you do and how you do things, right?
Right.
Because how you do things leads a lot to brand and trust. Actually, that's a good segue, because one of the things that seems to have come out of this conference is about if you're going to use AI in your business, what's going to be very important is your brand and what your brand stands for and the level of trust around it. Have you had any thoughts around that?
Well, of course, our clients will always expect us to give 100 or 110%, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So we might tend to start using AI more and more moving forward. Of course, like every company should do so.
Yeah.
But it's about not overdoing it. It's about still putting in our brain power and our human brain power in order to keep the quality high. And if you continuously deliver quality, then I think the trust, comes with that.
Yeah, and I think that's that interesting. We had a speaker just before about blending of AI with a call center, okay, and how the AI doesn't replace the call center, but it's there to supplement the call center to help drive better answers, faster answers, better answers, more comprehensive answers, and also to pick up on missed opportunities.
Yes.
Okay, so I can see how that leads to a better outcome for the consumer, which therefore gives a higher level of satisfaction and at the end of the day, greater trust
Yes.
in an organization.
Absolutely, yes. Quicker resolution times, quicker service levels ideally, or shorter service levels ideally. And then if a client does signal that they want to speak to someone, then you have to put someone on the phone very quickly.
Yeah.
But you will know then, and that's the power. It's the power of knowing what the client wants and giving him her the opportunity to use the right channels.
Yeah. And I think the last area around trust, I think, is super important. Is we live in a world of deep fakes.
Yeah.
Not so deep and some deep, and half the time we're not sure even what
don't even know
is real, whether the email I've got is real, do I click on this link and all that stuff. So I think that's where the brand of the organization becomes quite critical, and I assume that then puts onto that organization the need to ensure that what's being advertised is real, in the case of marketplaces, and that the consumer experience is real, okay, and that the transaction occurs.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, actually, everything with trust in a marketplace is significant. A lot of companies use marketplaces in order to, leverage the brand and the trusted brand that marketplaces have. When I worked at eBay and Mobila.de at the time, I was responsible for trust and safety. So back then already, and this is several years ago, we knew that the element of trust was going to make or break the business model. Yeah.
Fantastic, Miriam. Thank you for coming to the conference.
Thank you so much.
It was great having you present here and sharing your insights. And I'm fantastic, and I hope you took away a lot of things.
I sure did. Thank you so much, Simon.
Thank you very
much.
Thank
you. Okay.